with the accreditation team, or maybe a parent who wants to see how a QVS course works. So I want to do this in a couple ways. First, I want to show you what the student sees when they first come to the page. And then I'm going to switch it back into an instructor mode so that I can share more for you. And I also want to show you a little bit about how the communication occurs between the student and the teacher. So here's the course when you come. So you're going to find a little introduction video is me just welcoming. Also has some information over here on the right hand side about where I am, and they can always click here to see what time it is in Hungary. I have the main overview things. So there's a syllabus for students to click on. There's their online textbook for them to click on if they would need the link. And then you'll see here there's a course plan, so they kind of get the ideas of when their deadlines are. And I do this twice a year, so once for the first until the winter break, and then again for the second half of the year. And then down here you can see the tabs. The student only sees one unit at a time. And then these things are broken into the week, so they can see what they're supposed to do for this week. I have a resource here that they can click on. I'll take you to this briefly. This is the unit planner, so they can get an idea. I have this information in multiple places for them, but here is where they will see their TSWs for that unit. They will see a checklist of everything they're going to do for the unit. And then they'll see the same calendar that I have on the course page, but it just has the whole unit in a calendar. And finally, their grading rubric. And so I have this here, but I also include this in other places. So back to the course page, then they have a concept map, is an idea of the big picture, all the things they're going to learn in that unit. And then they can see their schedule for the week, indicating what they should do each day. And then you'll notice that the first thing is open, and it has some numbers here. I'll explain those in a minute. And then everything else is restricted, meaning that they have to do one activity to get to the next activity. And these little packages are Scorm packages. It's a way to package together all of the information. It has videos and exercises. I'm actually going to share one with you, but not this first one. So they can go through each thing every time they click on something. So I have to change the view back to instructor to click on everything. It will give them directions to what they're going to do. So that's the student experience at the beginning, that it's locked out. They have to work their way in order. And then they also have, you'll notice there's little check boxes over here. So as they finish these things, there'll be little check boxes letting them know they're done. I have a couple other things built into the course. When they finish a week, they will get a badge. So it's not, I have to get out of the student mode. So let me go back to my teacher mode, and I'll be able to show more now. So as you can see, the teacher mode is different because now instead of just having one unit, everything is here, but it shows what's hidden from the students. And just quickly to the badges, just to share with you, when a student finishes a week, they're going to have a weekly badge. So these are weekly badges, so every week has a badge. It'll say you're done with your week. And when they complete a unit, they'll get a badge to say they're completed with the unit. They'll also be, if they're behind, I can assign the catching up badge and so forth. So those are the badges for students. There's also another way a student can keep up is there's a grade book, so they can click, I show them how to click on their grades, and they can see where they are for all the lessons. So let's go into a lesson here. I don't want to do the introduction lesson because it doesn't have any mathematics in it, but here if we go into a lesson, they're going to get a little notice that lets them know how many points they need, and then they enter into the lesson. And so it starts off with what are they, what's their objective, what's their TSW. I also put in here for them, sometimes I make a video, sometimes I find one online, but it has like the big ideas of what's going to be in that lesson, and then we break it down into more details. This one is, since this is one of the newest one, like this is one of the first lessons that they're going to do that has math, I give them some kind of hints about how to use these lessons. So sometimes I use Khan Academy, so that is going to link to a Khan Academy video so that they can use this resource. So here's the video that they're watching on order of operations.
In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about
After they finish it, then there are some questions. So if they get the question wrong, I'm just typing something in. It doesn't, and then I often will give them some help at the beginning, because this is on these first set of slides, this is the initial instruction, so there'll be either hints or there'll be some help to help them get through and get the point. And so then when they get the right answer, they can check their answer again, so they're allowed to do this more than once, and it's going to keep their score. And so they just go through, there's questions on this, and then they go to the next page. When I need something from their textbook or other resources, the key vocabulary, the things they need, I put it in here. Again, there's other activities so they can match to show that they know the vocabulary. And again, if they, let's say, I'm just going to check the answer. If they don't get it right, they're able to, keep working on it until they do get the answer correct. And it just goes through like this again, with there's some vocabularies or ideas, there's videos to help, there's questions to check that they understood what was going on. And then as we get to the end of the lessons, then there's more of like a mixed practice. So this would be something that might normally be homework. I hope that they do finish it in their class. And it just goes through, and it is a little bit more of a mixed practice of what they learned. There's also places in here, we haven't come to one, but I also have places where they can do essays. So in this case, so if I said, I do not have any questions, and then I hit finish, so it's going to save, and at the very end, I ask the students, they type in their name. My name is Emily, so I'm emailing the score to myself. It sends the score, and I go back. So this feature sends me an email of what they did, and then I can click finish, and now their session is completed. If it earns enough points, the next lesson is unlocked. If it doesn't earn enough points, it doesn't unlock the next lesson. I'm trying to refresh my email here because I should. Let's see what happened. I should get an email that I just sent to myself. All of a sudden, my internet is very slow. There it is. Sometimes stuff gets sent to clutter, so here is what I'm able to see. So this would let me know who did the lesson, what lesson it was, how many points they earned, how many points they scored, what's their percentage correct, how long they spent on it, and then if there were essay questions in there, they would be able to send me the essay answers. What I ask the students to do, let's say they get stuck on something, so they didn't get the points, the next lesson doesn't unlock. As long as they don't exit out, they can still work on earning the points. What I ask them to do is, let's say they cannot get this one, I teach them how to take a screenshot of that question, and then you can see I have everybody in teams, so I ask them to just drag me their question over here, and I help them. And you can see I have some students here I'm going to help very soon as I'm done with this video. So that is basically the lessons that are like that. There's a couple other features here I think that are kind of important. These little things are discussions, and these are assignments. So, to the extent, oops, I'm in the wrong course. Here's algebra. I try to have, at the beginning of the year, just to get to know each other. With the discussions, I also use IXL. So students would go to IXL and they would know on algebra, and I usually give them a bigger set of skills than what they have to do and let them pick. If I start to see that they're having weaknesses in certain areas, then I can go back and I can assign those skills. I ask them to upload a screenshot of their SMART scores because it makes it faster. I don't have to go to IXL all the time to check their work. So they can upload their IXL scores when they're there, just to kind of round out what happens in a unit. So they do IXL at different points in the unit. And then I also ask that they can create a video of their notes. So it's very simple in these discussion forums. I show the kids how to make a video. They can add a new discussion topic, and they'll take a video of themselves and their notes and do a little explaining of maybe they offer some hints to their classmates or some sort of reflection. There's quizzes. The difference between the lessons and the quizzes is on the quiz, the student cannot re-answer a question. So in this, when you can just package the lesson slightly different, that says they have to earn 10 out of 13 points without having more than one attempt on that question. They can open the quiz more than once to do it again. Towards the end of the unit, I have them do a concept map of their own, so showing what they learned. These concept maps are then used as part of their unit the portfolio unit. They also take a practice test, and then they have a unit assessment. And here's a place at the end where I upload a link to the grading document. And if they need to relearn something or work on it, then I'm able to upload it there. But I hope that's an overview of how algebra works, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have.